Welcome, Army fans. This is Joe Iacano with GoBlackKnights.com, along with a Parents Perspective podcast that's part of our On a Mission in 2024 series put together by GoBlackKnights.com. We have with us today Tracy and Gino DiDomenico, the parents, of course, of safety captain firstie Max DiDomenico, Daryl and Christy Daly, the parents of senior quarterback and captain Bryson Daly, and Catherine Gilliam and Emmanuel Udo, parents of fullback Kanye Udo, Mr. All World, 128 yards the other night, and still wasn't the leading rusher. So everybody had a good night the other night. Let's go around real quick. Introduce yourselves. I'm going to go in order clockwise from my screen. Go around real quick. Just introduce yourselves to the audience. Tell us a little bit about your sons, where you live, any other info you want to give about your other kids, the rest of your family, anything else you want to talk about. Go ahead. Take just a couple minutes, 2, 3, 4 minutes to just kind of introduce yourselves to the audience. Go ahead, Gino and Tracy first.
How you doing? Gino DiDomenico.
I'm Tracy, and Max DiDomenico is our son. We are Texas transplants, actually. Gino's originally from Connecticut. I'm from Canada, and we ended up here
2008. We moved out here.
2008. So we have three kids. We have Zach, who's our oldest.
Who was an UTSA graduate and played with Frank Harris in high school. So there's a
Oh,
family
wow.
bond there.
Okay.
Yeah, they're best friends. They're actually best friends. And then we have Max, obviously, and then my daughter, who's 19, going to Texas State University, Madison.
Nice.
So yeah, we've been here for how long now? Yeah, 2000, yeah,
16 years. So
16 years.
so we're looking forward to the UTSA rivalry this year without Frank, though, because it's been a constant battle with Frank and Max since they were playing together last year. And unfortunately, Max couldn't get with Frank because Frank decided to get hurt. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're looking forward to this year, and we're enjoying the season so far, and hopefully Army can keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We will go to Daryl and Christy next.
I'm Daryl Daly. It's my wife, Christy, and of course, Bryson's our son.
We have
Let her tell you the rest of it.
we have three kids total. Brooke is our oldest. She's a coach and teacher in Wimberley, and that's where we currently live. We moved from Abernathy after Bryson graduated. It's down in the Texas Hill Country, not very far from the DiDomenicos. And then we have Allie. She is actually in graduate school at Northwestern, getting her MBA now. And then Bryson's the baby brother that the girls say he's spoiled rotten and gets all the perks. But we are very excited. It's been a fun Army football season so far. We get to travel with my mom and dad. They come to every game. Nana and Coach, as everybody knows them. But we've had a fun season so far, and we're looking forward to more Army wins.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Northwestern, West Point, grad school. Yeah, you guys have pretty good brains in your gene tree there. That's working out pretty well for y'all. And yeah, I got to meet your parents down in Boca. It was awesome. Really enjoyed talking to them. Really enjoyed talking a little bit of football with your dad. So that was super cool. All right, Catherine and Emmanuel, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Emmanuel Catherine. We are Kanye Udo's parents. I'm originally from Nigeria, West Africa, and Catherine is from Alliance City, New Jersey.
Originally, we now reside in Mays Landing, New Jersey. We've been here for almost 20 years, the same age as Kanye, and just go Army.
Go Army. Good stuff. Love them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Love my fellow New Jerseyans, of course. Like Gino and Tracy, I emigrated to the South because I don't like cold weather, but it's all good. So all right. So yeah, my first duty station when I graduated West Point was Fort Hood. And I walked outside on my birthday, which was January 26th. And normally January 26th, on my birthday in New Jersey, it was freezing. And I walked outside in Fort Hood and it was 72 degrees. And I said, never going to live in the North again. I love this. Sometimes in the summer, I regret it. But of course, my wife wouldn't let me move back north anyway, even if I
Yeah.
wanted to. So there's that piece of the puzzle. All right. So let's talk about the Temple game the other night in Philly. How many of you got to go to the game? And tell me what you thought. I'll go, Catherine and Emmanuel, I'll wait and get to you guys last because I know you're kind of Philadelphia locals. So I have some other stuff I want to ask you around the game. But Tracy and Gino, did you get a opportunity to go up to Philly for that one?
I did not. Unfortunately, I had to stay back a little bit, but got a chance to watch it on TV, and yeah, it was. I mean, the season we're having so far, I'm enjoying that we're able to take advantage and score early, and not put so much pressure on the defense. But the defense has been holding their own these last couple of games, and yeah, I'm just I'm gonna definitely be at next week's in Tulsa, and then I'll be up there for parent weekend, and so I'll be at the UAB game. So
Awesome. Let's before I go over to Daryl and Christy, let's kind of talk about that a little bit. You know, your thoughts on the game. Like you said, the offense has scored on their first two possessions of every single game this year, which is just wild. That's exactly how you want to do it if you're Army football. Put the other team in a hole, make them get desperate. And I think one of the cool stories of the 2024 team, a lot of us going into the year with the knew about the offensive line. They were a known quantity with Brady kind of leading the pack up there. But even with some of the younger guys, Katsigiannis and Gino and Connor coming back, we knew the offensive line was a known quantity. We knew Bryson was a known quantity. We knew Kanye and Hayden and Noah and some of the backs were a known quantity. The defense, we looked at it, Max was a known quantity. But a lot of the other names, I think most Army fans who maybe weren't parents or aren't really, don't know the kids really well, we were kind of like, well, I hope the offense can hold the ball for 40 to 45 minutes a game because
right.
this can be a struggle. And the defense has really stepped up and showed out, especially if we can hone in on kind of the last 5 to 7 minutes or so, the second quarter the other night against Temple, where the offense kind of sputtered, to be honest with you, for the first time in a while. And the defense came up big, like on 2 or 3 consecutive series. Talk about that a little bit, Gino. And, has the success of the defense surprised you, or talking to Max, did you kind of expect them to be this good?
No, I think surprise, I think, is not the right word I would use. I would say, their their mentality and the way they run their defenses, and you hear them say it a lot, it's a bend don't break type defense. So you're going to give up that small yardage, right? It's when we're in the grind that I think we shine the best. When it's that 3rd and 2, we seem to come up and make the plays, right? We don't give up a lot of third down conversions. And that's always been Army's defense for the last 3 years that I've watched the defense. And what we're better this year is we're not giving up the big play where we did give it up last year a few times, right? We haven't had the big plays hurt us this year, and I think because our back line and Max and Casey and some of the other guys, they have the experience, right? So we're not giving up those deep balls. And Fortner is holding the middle linebacking position. I think he just learned from being there last year and having the experience. And then I think our D line just finally came together and realized, hey, let's put our pin the ears back, and let's get these guys on the run. And we ended up with 2 sacks on that last 7 or 8 minutes, and that kind of just built into the second half. And I think we ended up with 7 sacks total for the game. So I think it's just a learning experience from game 1 to game 4 that they're just gaining more and more confidence and momentum in their play. And now they're just really gelling, and it's great to see because I think that turns the offense on, and then the offense feeds off of that as well. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Great. My camera pulls up at times. Okay. Well, anyway, they can hear me. It'll be back, I think. There we go. I've been having camera issues lately. No, I completely agree with you. And I'll be interested to get Daryl's take on this as a football coach. My dad was a defensive coordinator when I was a kid, and he never blitzed in plus territory. He always waited till the other team got past the 50 to blitz. So he was big time bend but don't break too. He used to say to me, Joseph, they don't give out points for first downs. And they don't. And I think that's Nate Woody's flaw. I completely agree. If Army doesn't give up the big play, I think they really put themselves in a position to win. Make a team go down the field and beat you. And what we see out of a lot of these AAC quarterbacks, they're AAC good. They're not Jalen Milrow, and eventually they'll make a mistake, or
Right.
Army will force them into a mistake with pressure or whatever else. I thought the defensive line played phenomenally the other night, and the linebackers. Eric Ford just destroyed that left tackle. And at the end of the game, I kind of felt bad for the Temple quarterback. I was like, "Can you guys get him out of the game? You're down by 4 touchdowns, and
Oh, I
the
know.
kid's going to get killed." Just take them out. What are you doing? So Daryl and Christy, I'm pretty sure. I think I saw you guys on TV, so I'm pretty sure y'all were at the game. What'd you think? And kind of give me your thoughts and analysis on the game.
Oh, it was a really good game. Philly, it was a great place to visit. We went down to the old city and some different places. My wife talked to some of the parents, and we went different places. But the game, I love running the ball. I love keeping the ball away from the other team. That's how we did it. Bryce was in high school, and take what they give you and keep our defense off the field. And our defense is playing great. They put a lot of pressure the other night and gave us some different looks. And, that's what they need to do. And offensively, we've got to execute. And, we've been doing that, but it's early in the season. So hopefully we can continue to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Christy, I'll let you comment in a second, but I mean, Bryson running the ball may have had his best game of the season. I'm not sure if that's the most yards he's had all year or not, but I thought he was really dominant. And I really liked some of the adjustments that Coach Worley made at halftime, where it looked like Temple was starting to get the hang of the option a little bit. They just said, fine, let's just go shotgun. We'll just run power. And him and Kanye both on a lot of those plays weren't getting touched till they got to the end zone. There was almost the offensive line was just blowing people.
Yeah.
I would like to personally thank the offensive lineman from
Yeah.
a quarterback
Go line.
point of view. Amen, sister. They're great. They make sure that our boys have those huge holes to run through. I made a comment that I might have gotten through some of those holes they made the other night. So I love those boys, and Bryson makes sure that they get taken care of. And I know Kanye is the same way. We are so appreciative of them. They've done a great job this season.
Go line.
Absolutely. The offensive line's been phenomenal. Now, Christy, after the Rice game, I asked Bryson about his leap into the end zone, and he told me you would get mad at him for that, for leaving the ground and putting himself at risk. I got to ask you, what did you think of his hurdle the other night?
Well, I was actually his hurdle coach in high school. And so I'm all for that when you're on the track. When you're on the football field, stay on the ground. I don't like that. He did it all through high school, and I think sometimes it was just to spite me. He does have a good form out of that, but he needs to stay on the ground at all times.
Well, good job on the technique, because he kept going, got another 5 to 10 yards. So that was awesome.
Stay on the ground.
We really like it when he leaves his feet, but for mom's sake, maybe he needs to stay on the ground. So
I did like the crowd's reaction. They were pretty awesome. When you go back and look at it on the game when we rewound it back, I was like, ooh, did you hear the stadium? They all went, ooh.
I know. Well, I think Army probably had more fans there than Temple did, from what I could see on TV. And speaking of that, Catherine Emmanuel, tell us a little bit about the game the other night, what your thoughts were. Kanye had a huge game, couple big runs, but you guys live kind of right across the river there in South Jersey, and know you guys, Atlantic City, Mays Landing, very, very close to the Philadelphia area. Did y'all have a big crowd of family and friends there to support Kanye? And what was it like being able to see your son play so close to home in a big time NFL stadium in an AAC game?
It was a great experience. We're probably like an hour away from Lincoln Financial Field. We used to take Kanye up to the field as a child. Emel's a very big Eagles fan to this day. So he did post some pictures that
I won't hold it against you. I'm a Giants fan, but that's okay.
yes,
Oh,
but
so
it
is
was
Max.
it was very so surreal to actually be there. Kanye had the opportunity of playing at an NFL stadium, the Jet Stadium. I think he was in the 7th or 8th grade. But to come to Philadelphia, so close to home, so close to a lot of our family and friends, we had probably like 30 plus people at the game. Some old coaches, some old childhood friends that he played on a little league with. I broke down so many different times during the game. I'm a crier anyway, but I was so emotional. But to see them even acknowledge my mother on TV, it was just I just couldn't even hold it together. And I'm going to hold it together today. But it just really is so surreal. And it's just a blessing to really see his dreams as well as the other boys' dreams come true. Just to play D1, to be in the Army. And we know what they go through on a daily basis. And then to just show up and show out is just amazing. And I'm glad they had the opportunity to do that on national television so everybody can see what Black Knights are about.
To add to it, I would like to take this moment to thank West Point and ESPN for giving Kanye the opportunity maybe to put his grandmom out there. It's just a blessing to me. When I saw people were texting me when I was on the field, so I took the text and the video, I showed it to Kellen, that's what I call her. And I said, I'm going to show you something. Do not cry. There's too many people around here. Just hold on to it. So really from the bottom of our heart, thank you, West Point, from all the coaching staff to the trash people, because that's what Kanye's grandmom used to say. And to Kanye's teammates and everybody else that have anything to do with that, thank you very much. It means a lot. It means a whole lot to me and Catherine and Kanye himself. If we really wish and pray she was here, because if we were not able to pick her up from practice, it was her that would do it. So there's nothing on this earth that would have stopped her from being on that field if she was alive. So thank you very much. I really want to thank Coach Monk and whoever that arranged that. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. We really appreciate it.
It was probably my buddies in Army Athletic Communications, Rich DeMarco, I can never pronounce his last name, Zapinski. That crew, they probably helped settle a lot of that up. We got Tracy and Gino coming back here. No big deal. We're used to technology issues here at GBK.
That was great. Thank you very much.
So, Catherine, I don't want to make you cry, but so if you don't feel like it's a fair question, you don't have to answer. But did you want to add anything about their feature on Kanye's grandmother?
Definitely. My mother is well known in the city of Atlantic City. She was an educator in the school system for over 40 some plus years, very active in the community, several different organizations, president led different things. And it just was mind blowing just to even see that and see her face there. And what a surprise. And for it to be at a home field in Philadelphia is priceless, to us.
Big, real big. Everybody's still talking about it. And I just happened to post it on Facebook today, and I know I'm going to hear it. Thank you very much. Whoever that have anything to do with it, it's really, really from the bottom of our heart, we really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really happy for both Kanye and Brady that we got to play Temple at Philadelphia Lincoln Financial Field, because typically most Army football players will get at least a couple games in the link because of Army Navy, but because of the weird rotation of games, I don't think it's coming back to Philly before Kanye or Brady graduate. So it's good that we get to play Temple now in Philadelphia. That's kind of nice. All right, so switching gears a little bit for the Dailies and the DiDomenicos. We'll start with Daryl and Christy. You know, being that your sons are the two co-captains, along with Cody Whitaker and Kyle Lewis, I guess, of the Army football team, what is it like? Obviously, you guys are really proud of your kids. Like, I don't need to reiterate that. We don't need to go on and on about that. Everybody knows that, right? But what is it like, to have a son who, as they always say on TV, is a leader among leaders? Everybody on the Army football team's a leader. To be a leader among leaders, and have they talked to you at all about what that honor means to them personally? So start with Daryl and Christy.
For Bryson, he has stated several times it's probably the biggest honor he's ever received in his life, because not just because being a leader among leaders, like you said, but because of his love for the brotherhood. Those guys, they're the reason why he's at Army. It's really easy to not be able to follow through at some place like Army where the expectations are so great. Going in 2020, he was at prep school. That was a challenge in and of itself. We didn't see him for about 8 months. And that's why this group of seniors, I believe, is so tight knit. We didn't actually get to meet Max until the next year when he came down the hill. But that whole group is so close because they had to go through so much. But again, back to being the leader among leaders, he just feels like that is his purpose and his job as far as making sure he represents his teammates. He's much more on the offensive side, obviously, than Max, but he is trying to do the best that he can to speak for his teammates and to be the best possible person he can be, not just the leader, but possible person he can be and teammate. That's really important to him. It really is.
Yeah, it's just, it's unbelievable, to watch it and know all the guys, because again, anybody could have got picked for captain in that group. And those guys that they work so hard, that go through stuff that most college players don't go through. And then to be able to lead that group, it's a special deal.
Yeah, I mean, just speaking as a reporter with GBK, and but as well as a grad and an alumni of the academy. I mean, there's nobody that I think represents West Point football as well as Bryson and Max. I mean, these guys are just studs and really just happy as a graduate. When I talk to other graduates, we're just excited about the way they represent us, and that's pretty cool. Because you don't always, old grads, we can be crusty and we can be critical, so you don't always hear that. But the very, very high praise for both Bryson and Max. All right. Gino and Tracy, go ahead. Tell us if Max has talked to you at all about being a captain and what that honor means to him.
The night we found out he became captain, which was probably an hour or so after he was told, he actually called us. I'm a crier too. So he was truly, truly surprised and grateful. And, like you said, it could have been anybody else. It could have been anybody. And he was so proud that his teammates chose him. Max has always been a leader. Max was a quarterback in high school, and then he came and played safety at West Point. And it was an unbelievable feeling. And I could hear it in his voice. And he was super proud that his teammates actually, chose him.
Yeah. So I, I got lucky to go to the next practice, which was the last spring practice, where they had the game, and they played their spring game, and I happened to be going up there and realizing that's when Max got announced. And you know, it's one thing to be a leader, but then to be chosen by so many that respect you at that level, to hold them accountable just as you hold yourself accountable, is truly an honor. And I got to know the Dailies over the years, and when I saw those two get put together, it really kind of symbolized, I think Christy said it best, just the bond that this year's team has and this senior class, and how they're looking to really put a mark on, especially walking into a brand new conference. They want to leave their mark on this graduating class of what it takes to really set the tone for the classes coming through. And I think, Max always had that pride, even when he was named captain here in high school. It for him, it was like, let me show you the way how to do it, but I'm also going to put the effort in too. So it's the accountability apart that I believe that's why everybody trusts these individuals to be their leader, their captains, because they're going to hold themselves accountable and actually to a higher standard than the rest of the team would themselves.
Awesome. Thank you for those answers. That was great. Yeah, thanks again for those answers, guys. Those were great. Really appreciate that. Um, you know, let's talk a little bit about Gino, you just mentioned it, kind of that the senior class wants to set an example, being the first year in the American Athletic Conference, and even the media and the fan base, and now the national media is starting to take notice. I hope, and I hope I know Coach Munkin will keep them focused one game at a time and not let stuff get to their heads. But I there's just something a little bit different about this 2024 team than I've seen the last couple of years. And it reminds me a little bit of the 2018 team that went 11-2 and almost upset Oklahoma. Part of it's the ability and the skill set of the team, obviously. Part of it is, I think, Coach Munkin's always been great, but I think his staff and his coordinators and his position coaches are maybe the best they've been in his entire tenure there, which is saying something. And then part of it is just this attitude and mentality that the kids have. So, Gino, talk a little bit about what you've seen from the 2024 version of the Black Knights, and what you think their potential and ceiling is the rest of the way.
Um, so I mean, obviously, being a sports dad for years, I never looked past the next game, and I used to coach at the youth level too. So if I were to just put a magic hat on and say what I would like for the season to be, I'd like the season to show up. And realistically, I think we can be uh 10-2. I think is a real ceiling for us. That's um I think in my gut of gut, 9-3, I think is where we might end up. But a couple of those games that I think are questionable, it's not that we cannot pull it out. It's just we're on the road. A couple of those games are rivalry games, so we know how those games go. They can go either way. And you know what? I'm not discounting and taking that, and we're going to take an L against Notre Dame either. Notre Dame's going to be in a battle with us.
Yes.
They have to realize that we have talent all over the place, and our offense, Udo and Daly as the two backs, and then with Noah and then Casey on the outside, you don't know where we're coming from. So if they take their foot off the pedal like they did against Northern Illinois, watch out. We could take it to them as well. So, like I said, I think realistically 10-2 is where we can end up. 9-3. So that's where I feel that where this class is.
Yeah, I mean, if Notre Dame thought Northern Illinois had a good running game, Wait till I
Right.
get to Army. Catherine and Emmanuel, what are your impressions of the season so far, and what do you guys like about this team?
Me personally, I think that the team is doing very, very well. I'm very impressed with the defense. I was kind of like skeptical the first game. After that, everything just went like we're here, and there's no way, there's nothing that you can do to stop us. So they're doing great. The team is doing excellent. Uh, Play calling is excellent compared to last year. I'm sorry if if I said something that
No,
might,
you're 100% right.
you know.
Don't be sorry at all. We all think the same thing. So,
So I like the play calling on offense. Everybody is touching the ball. It's not just Bryson. They put in Bryson last year. I was praying for the young man. You know, so everybody's touching the ball. It's very difficult, for my opinion, for any team to stop us right now. You know what I mean? So West Point is going somewhere that a lot of people is going to be surprised that Army is coming and they're taking over. I mean, with the new conference, I think that we, quote unquote, we might wind up winning the whole thing. I don't have no doubt in my mind. We have a solid coaching staff that doesn't take no crap from nobody. I mean, they love our kids. They love our kids dearly, but they want them to work. You know what I mean? This is, I mean, you guys go 2 weeks without seeing your parents and doing what you guys do. Not a lot of kids in this world can do that, can do what they do. So with football, and this is what you guys love to do, playing football, I think you can see, anybody can see, you gotta come with your A+ game to try to beat Army in today's football. I'm telling you, I mean, we're doing great. You're gonna key on Kanye, forget about that. You go pricing. You're gonna key on present, forget about that. You go no. So you go read. So it's you have to come up with your A+ game, try to stop the run. Then on top of that, our defense is doing a marvelous job. So I mean, I will not put no doubt on anything right now. I want us to win the whole thing. I believe in my team. This is my team now. I believe in Army. We're gonna win the whole thing, and we're gonna surprise. We're gonna surprise the world. That's my faith, my boys.
That's good stuff. You got me fired up. I'm a believer now. Like you're better than Coach Prime out in Colorado. You got me believing. That is good stuff. No, it's funny when you talk about all the weapons on the offense, and I don't want to steal anybody's thunder if somebody else is going to say something. Here's the scary part. There's a kid named number 21 who hasn't even shown up on the field yet.
Show up on the field, yeah.
Get him in there. Like, that's a whole different dimension. So, Catherine, what are your thoughts so far? What do you think about the season so far?
I think the season is great. I really feel a different energy than last year, and it could have been just because we were just, coming down the hill and just the different nuances of all of it. But I just feel a different, like the brotherhood. I really feel that they're locked in. I feel even off the field with the parents, that we're locked in. We're the support system, and I think it's just trickling onto the field. I think it all has to work together for it to work. So if we continue where we're at, I think we're going to have a great season.
We're going to have a great season. There's no doubt.
Completely agree with that, Catherine. You know what impressed me when I was at the pregame party tonight before with you guys in Boca? I told my wife before we went, I said, we'll go, whatever. I said, if they start complaining about how much playing time their kids are getting or Monken's play calling or whatever, I said, we're out of here. I don't want to listen to any of that. And you guys I didn't hear any of that all night. It was awesome. Like, you guys have adopted the mentality of your kids that the team comes first, and it's really impressive to watch. So, Daryl and Christy, what do you guys think of the season so far, and what do you think the ceiling is for the 2024 team?
Well, coaching so long, my deal is, we're 4-0, and Coach Monken probably told them to enjoy it that night, and then we're going to get ready for the next game. And yeah, there's big games in the future, but those aren't important right now. It's what we're going to do Saturday and the next Saturday and whatever. But it's a group that it's fun to watch. Multiple on offense. Yeah, we went back to the triple, but we're still in the shotgun. One group we haven't talked about is probably the most important group is those receivers blocking and being that selfish because we got really really good receivers. Uh, Casey, Cam, David. I mean, all the guys. There's name them all can step in there, and they're really, really good receivers. But Miles, great blocker on the perimeter, and especially now that we can't cut, and they're doing a great job up high. And you try to block in space, good luck.
It's hard
Against good defensive backs and stuff. That's the hardest thing you can do, and they're doing a great job. And it's just it's fun to watch, and defense, they give us the ball a lot. They've done a great job, and and if we continue to do that, yeah, great things can happen. But right now we're just getting ready for what's going to go on in Tulsa on Saturday.
Yep. Yep. It's funny you mentioned that, Daryl, because I actually, in my preseason kind of prediction article where I go through and pick every game, I had Army 4-0 right now. And I had Tulsa as like, I don't want to use the word trap game because I really don't like that word, but just that it's a road game. It's at noon. We don't know much about Tulsa. Like that, they really got to be on their A game when they go to Tulsa on Saturday, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they do.
Yep. Christy, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know how many people we play, but how many ever we play, I think we're going to be whatever and oh. I mean, that's the mentality you have to go in with as a mom too. I want to beat everybody. I love the fact that a service academy, it's beat Navy, beat Air Force, but I have a button that says beat everyone. And that's the way I feel about it. And Daryl's exactly right. All of those kids are working so hard together. So proud. Last week, I think there was one point that everybody on the offense was over cheering for everybody on the defense. I mean, as soon as they were coming off the field, and that's the kind of, again, brotherhood that you have where they're so happy for each other. One of my favorite things is Brady Small jumping up, and whoever scored the touchdown, he's jumping up and chest bumping him. That takes some hops for Brady Small to get up and chest bump whomever. But he's doing it every single time. Connor Finucane out there blocking for everybody on, a sweep. That's good stuff. You got to like that. It's because they care about each other and they want everybody to be successful. So how many ever we play, we're that and oh.
Awesome. Good stuff. Daryl, follow-up question to what you said, because I agree with you. The blocking on the perimeter has been amazing, and it is really hard to block in space, especially up top. On Noah Short's touchdown run, he had a wall of three blockers in front of him that opened that hole. Connor Finucane was one of them. Miles Stewart was the other. The third one was the receiver, and I thought it was number 4. Do you guys know who number 4 is?
Liam Portner.
Liam had a big time block right in the middle of that wall. That was impressive.
Oh, we had everybody. Somebody had somebody, and then of course Noah just explodes through them. David Crosson's sprinting down the field. You don't see that. I mean, everybody's hustling, trying to get a block, and I know they preach that and they coach that because of the great coaching staff and expect it. But it's fun to watch when it really works.
So as we get ready to wrap up, talking about the coaching, and I just think, I mean, the coordinators, we'll leave the coordinators and Coach Monken alone for now. I mean, they've been unbelievable. Cody Worley, everybody, we can all question play calls from time to time. There's not many plays he's called all year that I've been like, not sure about that one. And specifically in the passing game, there's been times in the past where Army's had 1st and 10 and chose to throw the ball. And I'm like, oh no, what are we doing? Because then it's incomplete and then it's 2nd and 10 and then we're behind the chains. And it's like, he has made like almost every call, which is really, really hard to do. And I could say the same thing about Nate Woody. The only big play they've given up all year, Gino, going back to one of your opening comments, is the zero blitz the other night where they cut the tight end loose and he went for 54. I guess they figured we're up 4 scores at this point. Who really cares? Let's get after it. But I mean, both those guys have been on it. But I know some of the coaches your kids are closest to are their position coaches. And for the Dailies, obviously, Cody Worley's the position coach and the OC, so it's a little different. But Tracy and Gino talk a little bit about Danny Verpel and Max's relationship with him.
Um,
Huge respect.
no, he reached out to us during the spring, and he just wanted to comment how the way Max works, and just the way they kind of communicate. He says something, Max just grabs it. It's like he goes, I never have to tell Max anything twice. I tell him once, he sees it, and where to go. If Max makes a mistake, Max is almost at the point where he's picking out his mistakes, right? So they're almost like in sync with each other. And I think, and it's funny because when I went to the spring game, Coach Woody kind of said to me, he goes, in the years that he's been a defensive coordinator, he's never really seen somebody come in and just kind of pick up the scheme like it was just he might not have all the physical attributes you want to see where he got that 4.3 speed or whatever you want to look for, but he's never going to be out of position or he's never going to be afraid to make the big play. So I think that's really one of the things that I've come and find out. And I just want to mention one thing about Coach Rurley. I think him having the years of experience with Bryson, it's almost like him and Bryson are like connected. They almost see what they're seeing on the field together. And I think that's how Coach Woody and Max are. Max is wearing the green dot this year, and he's calling the plays out, and it's almost like they're in sync. And I think that's what's really have helped. I think our team this year is the years of experience that these individuals have with their coordinators, those position coaches, is just really starting to take and infect the rest of the team. And we're all feeding off of that. And I'm really excited about that.
It's like a family.
Yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, that's pretty high praise for Max because Army's had some pretty good, pretty smart safeties. When you're following guys like Ced Cunningham and Marquell Broughton and you get praise like that, that's saying something. So, Catherine and Emmanuel talk about Kanye's relationship. His position coach this year is Blake Powers, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I think that might be newer for him. So how's their relationship developing?
I think he's solid because I think we met him when Kanye was in the prep school. And a lot of people, they don't understand what it takes to be a running back and to get to where Kanye is at right now. He worked very, very hard to get to where he's at right now. I mean, it takes a lot. People might look at it like, you just went to a school because you were 3-star, 4-star, 5-star. That doesn't mean nothing. When you walk into any program, you have to prove yourself. So he knew a lot about Kanye when Kanye was in prep school. So a good thing when, Kanye went downhill, I mean, they kind of like connect and, their work ethic is priceless in my way. With my word. Sometimes it's difficult to just get into a place and start making noise. The coaches respect Kanye. Kanye respect them. They love Kanye. Kanye love them. So it's a win-win situation. They work together. They're going to be new things that is going to be introduced to Kanye. And Kanye is a very fast learner. He surely would adopt to anything real fast, and he's not scared to put up and do the job. You know what I mean? People were talking a lot about when Kanye fumble. I say, Coach Monte love Kanye. I mean, that's tough love. He's preparing him for the next level. You know what I mean? So it's gonna happen. In 15 years of him playing football, this is his second fumble. Forget about that. And I wanted to tell like 50 times. And I asked Kanye, he said, it's my fault. So he earned up, he earned up to it. And it's not easy to run through those A gap, you know what I mean? And try to make it. It's not easy. I mean, trying to go through 350-pound guys, 4 of them, 5 of them sometimes, you try to do that. It's not easy thing. So they're gonna continue to teach him, and he's gonna continue to learn. That's why he's there. It is a learning process. You know what I mean? For you to get anywhere, you gotta be able to accept and open up to learn, and be able to be somebody. You have to be able to coach. You gotta be coachable. If not, so you must as well just hang it up. So Kanye is very, very coachable. He's a very humble kid. His work ethic is unparalleled. Trust me. I'm not saying it because he's my son. And sometimes I say to him, I'm not saying this because you're my son. You're a very good football player, but it's like that. Stop. He's that's not stop. So they're gonna continue to work together, and they're gonna bring up some stuff that Kanye have to learn, like blocking. I see Kanye blocking a lot, in the past 4 games. Something that he did not do that much in high school. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's a learning process, and he's getting real good at it. So for you to be a complete back, you gotta be able to run the ball, block, and catch. So this is a process. You know what I mean? So if you want to step up to the next level, this is the time to prepare yourself for that. So he's open and he's learning and he's getting it. You know what I mean? So the team is getting it. They love him. He loves his team. Kanye love West Point. If not so, he Kanye doesn't make this kind of decision just to please me or the mom or anybody else. So the coaching staff respect him. He respect them. So we're gonna see, and we have 8 more or 9 more games to go. So you're gonna see a lot of improvement as we go along. So he's learning, and there've been some few late night phone call, but it's nothing that we wouldn't expect. So he has a very good, solid support back here. So we have to keep him straight and let him understand we love him, and it's a learning process. So they're doing good. There's no complaint.
Good stuff. Yeah. That's we're very happy Kanye likes West Point.
Yeah.
I think every parent, every fan, every graduate is very, very happy Kanye likes West Point. So whatever it takes for Kanye to keep liking West Point, let's figure that out and make it happen.
And the funny thing about it that a lot of people doesn't know, Temple was Kanye's first offer.
Oh, interesting.
So a lot of people doesn't know that Temple offered Kanye first. So for him to play against them does it was another thing.
After he saw what Army's defense was doing to Temple's running backs, hopefully he knows he made the right choice. Catherine, anything to add?
I think you said everything.
We're good. He's making your job easy today.
Yes, definitely.
Daryl and Christy, talk about Bryson's relationship with Coach Worley. Like Max or like Gino said, it feels like they're on the same page a lot of times, which is great.
I think Gino hit the nail on the head. Coach Worley came down to meet Bryson for the first time when he was still in high school. They had changed the quarterback's coach at that time.
Quarterback coach, yeah.
He had retired, and that's when Bryson had been speaking to he and Coach Beatty, and we knew immediately that Coach Worley was our kind of guy. You could tell he just cared about the kids. He cared about Bryson. He said, "We're gonna do everything that we can do to make West Point the best place for you to be," and he's followed through on that promise. He's believed in Bryson from the get-go. It's hard to be one of 11 in the quarterback room his freshman year.
Wow.
And he was just learning, to Emmanuel's point, they're all just learning, but he learned so much in those 2 years. And he's the type of kid that's going to be back in the back of the room if they're going over, okay, this is how to pitch. I don't know all the terminology, but if this is how to do this, he's back playing it out. That's what he's always done. And Coach Worley saw that he's a student of the game, and kept, telling him, your time will come, and keep on working. And it's sometimes hard for these guys that all those kids at West Point, they were the guy at their high schools. And it's hard to stand on that sideline and watch everybody else get to play the game that you love. And Coach Worley just kept telling Bryson, your time's going to come. Keep doing what you know how to do. Keep believing in yourself. And that was the best thing in the world for him. Talk about appreciating the place where he is. He does. He appreciates the fact that he gets to go out there every day and practice with his teammates and play with his team. That's a great thing.
Yeah, Coach Worley's great. He had so much experience with, he was a quarterback in option, and then, and you respect guys like that that's gone through it, and he coached it in other places, and yeah, he's just been great for Bryson, and we appreciate him. And it's hard. People don't realize it's hard to call plays. It's hard to call plays. I did it, and some people love me, some people hated me, but everybody has an opinion and standards. Sometimes mothers, but Worley did a great job along with all his staff that helps him. Sprinkle and all those guys are amazing. So it's fun. It's fun to see their relationship. Even when he's getting chewed out, it's still great.
It's okay. They can overcome that too.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Emmanuel said, right? Like when Kanye got pulled from the Florida Atlantic game for the fumble, like it happens, we all make mistakes, but I just love the fact that Army has such a high standard that they're not going to let anything slide, right? I mean, kid makes a mistake. I'm sure I don't know. I know you guys talked to Bryson after a game, and it was kind of a blindside hit on that strip sack that got overturned. So it wasn't necessarily his fault. It was really the left tackle's fault. But I'm sure Coach Worley and Coach Munkin had a conversation with him in the locker room about ball security after that play or whatever else.
Oh yeah, he could have got it rid of it earlier or whatever. I'm still not sure on that call, but thank God it went our way.
Okay. I didn't want to be the bad guy, but I was like, we might have gotten away with it.
Probably wouldn't have called that one in the game, I guarantee it. But no, it's tough. But that tough love sometimes is what these kids need. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, especially because of what they're getting ready to face after college. I mean, a few of them may get to go to the league, but most of them will be platoon leaders in the U.S. Army, and the stakes are a lot higher there, as General MacArthur famously said about the fields of friendly strife. So definitely training these young men up for their future career, and we certainly appreciate the coaching staff for that. So we are about at time. So before we wrap up, I'm going to skip rapid fire today. You're off the hook. So maybe if I have some of y'all back for Army Navy, we'll throw the quiz at you then. But real quick, just Gino and Tracy, if you have a 30-second message for Max. Hopeful Max will watch this, but go ahead.
We miss you terribly. We can't make it to every game, but you're in our heart every game. We cheer you on from home. There's always, the whole community here, but I'm proud of you. It's not easy. Classes, football, practice, but overwhelming proud and pride.
Same sentimental, same words. Just keep doing what you're doing. Not only show out for your team, show out for your brotherhood, for your family, and everything else will fall into place. Don't worry about what tomorrow is going to bring you. Worry about today, and let God guide you in your path where you're at today and where you're going to be in the future.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Emmanuel and Catherine, go 30-second message for Kanye.
We love you. We're always here to support you. Keep moving one foot in front of the other, and God has you.
Kanye, you know how we feel about you. We're so proud of you. We think the world of you. Stay humble as you always are. Sky is the limit, be yourself and do what you love to do. Play football. And God bless you all the way. We pray for you every day. And for the team, go Army, beat everybody.
Thank you. Good stuff, Emmanuel. All right, Daryl and Christy, close us out.
Yeah, just we love you, and we love to watch you play, and get to experience this stuff with you, and just keep doing the things you do, and kind of like his granddad said, go ahead, pod heart. I guess that's the thing,
That's the thing.
that he has on it. But he always will do that, and he'll always work hard. Don't have to worry about that. It's kind of like you're talking about Kanye and Max. You don't have to worry about these guys, and most of every guy at West Point. They're gonna play hard. They're gonna do things as hard as they can and work hard, and that's why they're so successful. So keep working at it, man.
Yep. We love you. We're so proud of you. You've got fans all over this great state of Texas, and we've gotten to welcome fans all across the nation now. And we are just so extremely proud of everything that you've done and that you're gonna do. This is a small part of your life and your journey. But we just love watching you do what you love, and it shows out on that field every single time you step on it with your brothers. So we're proud of you, bud.
Well, thank you all so much for coming on, taking an hour out of your Saturday. I really appreciate it. Gino and Tracy, Emmanuel and Catherine, repeat guests on the podcast. Always appreciate you guys coming on. And Daryl and Christy, thank you guys so much. And Daryl, especially for lending your coach's perspective. I can really appreciate that as also a coach's son. I have a lot of respect for that. So thank you very much. Hey, Army fans. Big week coming up as your Black Knights head into Tulsa next Saturday to take on the Golden Hurricane at noon Eastern, 11 Central on CBS Sports, I believe. Or no, ESPNU next week. My bad. ESPNU. And get ready to go. And thank you very much. This has been the Parents Perspective Podcast on a mission in 2024. This is Joe Iacono with GoBlackKnights.com saying go Army, beat Navy, and beat Tulsa.